Good day, we are the Group 8 and we discussing about the case studies and practical applications in industrial safety management. And here are my group mates. Fernandez Rosel, Ingreso Natasha Nicole, Loica Virginia Nicole, Nantisa Janine, Perez Desiree Grace, Relco Pansayra May, and Tarobal Daniel. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, students will be able to number 1, analyze real-world industrial accidents to identify root causes, latent conditions, and active failures using at least 2 accident analysis models. Example, Swiss cheese model, bow tie, or root cause analysis. 2. Conduct systematic safety inspections through a simulated workplace exercise, correctly using checklists, hazard rating scales, and interviewing techniques. Number 3. Develop a practical, prioritized safety improvement plan or SIP for a given workplace scenario that includes risk assessment, control measures, implementation steps, timeline, responsibilities, and metrics for monitoring. 4. Communicate findings and recommendations clearly in both written report and oral presentation format suitable for management and shop floor audience. And 5. Reflect on human, organizational, and technical factors that influence safety performance and propose realistic interventions that fit available resources. Good day everyone, I'm Nicole Loica and I'm here to discuss the introduction. So basically, yung introduction natin, as you can see sa slide, gagamitin natin yung lahat ng concept na napag-aralan natin before, like yung hazard identification, risk assessment, safety culture, and legislation na i-apply natin sa realistic situations. So, we will use case studies and hands-on simulation para matest natin yung knowledge natin. This module emphasizes structure accident analysis, realistic inspection and data gathering skills, practical planning and implementation thinking, and communication and stakeholder engagement. Detailed content and activities. So first is analysis of industrial accidents, so theory and practice. So yung goal natin or yung main goal natin dito is maintindihan natin bakit nangyari yung mga aksidente sa trabaho and paano natin ito maiiwasan. And then next yung key concepts and models. So under this section, mayroon tayong iilang concepts or key concept and models na kailangan nating pag-aaralan. So first one is yung accident causation model. So, ito yung mga frameworks na nag-explain kung paano nagli-lead yung isang aksidente and series of events. So, ito rin yung design or organizational weaknesses. Heinrich triangle. So, tingnan niyo po yung triangle na nasa kanan. Ito yung isa sa pinaka-classic model. So, sinasabi ni Heinrich na for every 300,000 unsafe acts, usually may 600 near misses, 300 minor accidents, 30 serious accidents, and isang 10 fatal major accident na mangyayari. So, ibig sabihin, ang pag-focus natin mula sa pag-iwas sa mga unsafe acts and near misses na base sa triangle ay ang pinaka-epektibong paraan para maiwasan yung malalaking aksidente or kailangan nating alisin yung ugat ng problema. So, next is yung Swiss cheese model. So, maaari nating itong ma-mention. So, ito naman yung model na nagsasabing yung aksidente ay nangyayari kapag nag-a-align yung butas sa iba't ibang safety layers para yung parang slice ng Swiss cheese. And next, yung bow tie, ito naman yung nagko-connect ng causes and consequences and kung paano ito kontrolin. And then yung HFACS overview or Human Factors Analysis and Classification System. Ito naman yung mas detailed na approach na nagpo-focus sa human errors and organizational factors. And lastly, na under ng accident causation models is yung root cause analysis or RCA. Siyempre, pagkatapos natin malaman yung model, kailangan nating gawin yung root cause analysis. So, ano nga ba yung root cause analysis? So, ito yung process ng paghahanap ng pinakaugat ng problema, hindi lang yung surface level na dahilan, hindi lang natin tatanungin yung bakit nag-slide, kundi bakit madulas yung sahig, and bakit walang warning sign, para malaman natin yung 6 systematic weaknesses. Second bullet is yung distinction between failures. So, mahalagang i-distinguish natin yung active failures na to or unsafe acts. So, ito yung direct action ng tao na nagki-trigger ng aksidente. So, for example, hindi lang nagsuot ng PPE, mali yung pag-ooperate ng machine. Ito yung nakikita nating dahilan agad. And second example naman nito is yung latent conditions or design organizational weaknesses. Ito naman yung hidden flaws sa system or organization. So, for example, kulang sa training, mali yung design ng workplace, or walang maintenance schedule. Ito yung nag-exist na bago pa man mangyari yung aksidente. Data sources for analysis. Ito naman yung sources of information natin para maintindihan kung ano talaga yung nangyari. So, hindi lang tayo pwedeng mag-rely lang sa isang sources. Kailangan nating tingnan yung mga sumusunod. So, number 1 is yung incident reports. Ito yung pinaka-official written document na nagdi-detail ng what, where, and when ng isang insidente. And yung witness statements naman, ito yung mga kwento and observation ng mga taong nakakita ng pangyayari, and very crucial to. So, equipment records. Dapat i-check natin kung may problema ba yung mga ginamit natin na equipment, and tingnan natin yung maintenance records and equipment logs. For example, yung operating hours natin and then yung error codes. CCTV or closed circuit television, kung available lang sa isang company. Ito yung video footage na pinaka-objective na ebidensya dahil ipinapakita nito yung actual na pangyayari sa isang company. Next bullet is yung focus on influencing factors. So, hindi lang tayo nakapokus sa what happened. So, nakatingin din tayo sa bakit nangyari yung isang aksidente. And ito yung mga sumusunod na factors na dapat nating i-consider. Number 1 is yung human factors. Hindi, ito yung mga action and decision ng tao. So, halimbawa, pagod ba ang worker? May proper training ba or nagmamadali ba? Then, next bullet or number 2 example is yung ergonomics. So, dito naman yung tinitingnan natin yung tama ba yung design ng workplace, or accessible ba yung mga tools, or nakaka-sustain ba yung mga tasks. So, minsan, yung isang environment mismo yung nagkakos sa error. And then lastly, yung organizational culture influences, and dito naman nakikita kung ano nga ba yung attitude ng isang kumpanya towards safety. So, may mabilisang attitude pa? Seryoso ba yung mga or seryoso ba sila sa pag-report ng mga near misses, or malaki ba yung influence nito sa behavior ng isang employees? And then the last bullet, which is the legal and ethical responsibility. So, importante naman to dahil may mga batas and moral obligation tayong dapat sundin. So, may tanong tayo dito na dapat natin i-consider. So, what to record? So, ano nga ba yung mga minimum information na kailangan nating document? Dapat kompleto and accurate ito. Then, next is yung confidentiality. So, saan and kailan natin pwedeng i-share yung mga information, and may mga personal details na kailangan natin i-protect, lalo na yung mga witness and yung mga na-injure. And then, the last example is yung reporting timelines. So, gaano kabilis natin kailangan i-submit yung report? And kadalasan, may strict deadlines na ibinibigay ng batas or company policy. So, yung pagiging late ay pwedeng maging sanhi ng isang penalty. In overall summary, yung incident investigation ay hindi lang tungkol sa pag-fill up ng isang forms. Ito rin yung detailed systematic process na gumagamit ng iba't ibang data sources para matukoy yung pinaka-root cause and ginagawa ito with legal and ethical standards in mind.
So for the first learning goal, the objective is to practice the core skills needed in real safety inspection. So for the inspection planning, this means na before you even start the inspection, you already have a clear plan kung ano yung areas na i-check, ano yung expected hazards, and ano yung flow ng inspection. So for the example, deciding na unahin yung machine area, then chemical storage, then electrical panel. So the whole point is to make the inspection organized and efficient para hindi ka nag-random walk and you won't miss anything important. Second, hazard recognition. This is about training yourself to identify unsafe conditions. So for examples, slippery floor, black walkway, exposed wiring, missing PPE, or improper chemical storage. So dito, you need these skills kasi in actual workplaces, hazards are not always obvious. You really have to be observant. So next, the documentation. After spotting hazard, you should know how to record them properly. For example, filling out the checklist, taking photos, writing the exact location and description of the hazard. So documentation matters because it becomes the official record for the safety team para may basis for corrective actions. Then lastly, sa interviewing workers naman, part of the inspections process is talking to the people working in the area, like operators, supervisors, or maintenance staff. For example, asking an operator why a machine guard was removed, or asking maintenance kung bakit may leak sa equipment. So this helps you understand the real causes behind hazard, not just what you want to see on the surface. Dito, the second learning goal focuses on risk prioritization, which is super important in safety management. Next, how we rank hazards based on likelihood and severity. First is likelihood. This refers to how possible or how often a hazard can lead to an incident. In short, mas mataas ang chance na mangyari, mas mataas ang likelihood. For example, wet floor in a busy walkway, high likelihood siya kasi madalas may dumadaan. Second example, a chemical cabinet that is rarely open, low likelihood kasi bihira siya ma-expose. So next is severity. This describes how serious the injury or damage would be if the hazard happens. In short, mas malala ang possible outcome, mas mataas ang severity. For example, exposed live wire, high severity kasi it can cause electric shock or even death. Second example, missing label on a box. Low severity siya kasi maliit lang yung harm na possible mangyari. So, after rating the hazards, you create quick win corrective actions. These are solutions na very doable and fast to implement pero effective in reducing risk. For example, putting a wet floor sign, removing clutter, replacing a damaged extension cord, or securing a loose machine guard. So the idea is to fix the high-risk items immediately while planning for long-term solutions. So this teaches you how to think like an actual safety inspector, strategic pero practical. Materials and setup. So for this part, we have to set up the simulated workplace para ma-practice yung inspection. So setup, kailangan i-include yung